over again without God. What I've just shared with you was an excerpt of Dr. King's message delivered at the Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church in Chicago on 27 August 1967. I want to tell you what I get from this scripture is that the man that God called a fool suffered from complacency. Complacency is the enemy of progress. Complacency gives the false feeling that we have arrived. We can sit down. We can get all we can all we get, and then sit on our cans. Complacency has no place in our lives. As long as there is one more sinner in need of hearing the gospel message, as long as there's one more gunned down in the streets unarmed, as long as there are women and anyone being taken advantage of and even molested or abused or used, as long as there's even one more considered walking into a school or a church or any gathering and unloading an assault weapon into innocent people, complacency has no place in our lives and no place in our thinking. Our hearts go out to the families of the victims at Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Just as our hearts have gone out many times before at Columbine and Virginia Tech and Sandy Hook and numerous schools around the country, churches, gathering places, movie theaters, concerts, nightclubs. Time and time again, our hearts go out. Edmund Burke wrote, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." It is time that something is done to protect our children. Each one of us had a brother or sister, a child, killed in any one of these incidents that I've mentioned. Not literally, but figuratively, they are our children. They represent our children. They could have been our children. What happened there can happen here. Don't be a fool. Dr. King finishes his message as such. Don't be a fool. Recognize your dependence on God. As the days become dark and the nights become dreary, realize that there is a God who rules above. And so I'm not worried about tomorrow. I get weary every now and then. The future looks difficult and dim, but I'm not worried about it ultimately because I have faith in God. Centuries ago, Jeremiah asked the question, is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? He raised it because he saw the people suffering so often and the evil people prospering. Centuries later, our slave foreparents came along, and they too saw the injustices of life and had nothing to look forward to morning after morning but the rawhide whip of the overseer. Long rows of cotton in the sizzling heat. But they did an amazing thing. They looked back across the centuries and they took Jeremiah's question mark and straightened it into an exclamation point. And they could sing, "There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul." And there's another stanza that I like so well. Sometimes I feel discouraged. And I don't mind telling you this morning that sometimes I feel discouraged. I feel discouraged in Chicago. As I move through Mississippi and Georgia and Alabama, I feel discouraged. Living every day under the threat of death, I feel discouraged sometimes. Living every day under extreme criticisms, even from Negroes, I feel discouraged sometimes. Yes, sometimes I feel discouraged and my work's in vain, but the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul. Let us stand.